All right, welcome everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about a very exciting topic that we call biohacking. And the reason biohacking is so important today is we are in an environment that is increasingly hijacked. And what do I mean by hijacked? We are being physically hijacked. Our bodies are being hijacked physically, emotionally, biochemically, through toxins, EMFs, allergens, and all kinds of things. And the opposite of having a body that's been hijacked is having a body that is biohacked. And that is just referring to taking control of your own biology, optimizing your own genetic potential, your gene expression, and really becoming the very best version of yourself. And how do we do that? We do that through the science of nutrigenomics, which is looking at how nutrition affects your gene expression. And we all know you are what you eat. So with every bite of food you take, every supplement you consume, every activating substance, you are impacting your genes. And you want to make that for better and not for worse. So biohacking is a verb, and you're going to break it down into bio or biology, your own body. Hacking means to optimize or make the best use of. And biohacking is just taking control of a complex system, namely your own biology, in order to achieve a desired outcome. This topic of nutrigenomics is becoming absolutely huge. It's a $600+ billion industry, and it's all about the scientific study of how we can integrate nutrition with the optimal expression of our genes. And you all know that our DNA is not our destiny. We do not have to express every gene that we possess. The key is to express the good ones and suppress the bad ones. And I'm going to talk to you about some ways to do that. The first set of genes we would like to express are genes that deal with something called oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is bad for the body. It causes damage, it causes dysfunction, it causes mutation, it causes everything that goes wrong with our bodies after the age of 20, essentially. Healthy children have an overabundance of these antioxidant and anti-inflammatory genes being expressed, and they therefore can deal with all of the things like pollution in our water, microwave radiation, EMFs, pesticides, herbicides, excess oxidative stress from exercise. We're breathing in oxygen, and a side byproduct of oxygen metabolism is that free radical. That free radical or oxidative stress is what browns apples. It can be added to by pollution and fumes from gas pumps and jet fuel if you fly, and it's really bad for our cells. Our cells use oxidative stress to neutralize and heal, but if it goes rampant, if it goes unchecked, that destroys the very cells, and that's not what we want. We don't want to be the brown apple or the brown banana. We don't want to be wrinkly and susceptible to all kinds of things if we can avoid it. And the key is to increase our own body's production of antioxidant enzymes. And again, we're getting bombarded by the environment. Let me just meet one more person, okay? It's coming from everywhere. Pesticides, insecticides, fungicides, preservatives, food colorings, additives, EMFs, pollution, water, air, all that. So we want to defend ourselves. And luckily, there is a new pathway, well, relatively new. It was discovered in 1994 that's been studied by all of these universities. And it is something that is going to turn on the production of these antioxidant and anti-inflammatory enzymes, which are millions of times more potent than vitamin C, vitamin E, and eating fruits and vegetables, which we should eat because we are what we eat. And these fruits, vegetables, the nutrients, the minerals, the vitamins that they contain, they make up our cells, and that's important. But we don't want our body having to steal the antioxidants from the fruit and vegetables just to put out the fire of inflammation caused by oxidative stress, when we have a body that can produce all of these things in abundance, just like it used to when we were a healthy child. So if you look up oxidative stress on PubMed, you're going to see over 225,000 studies talking about how damaging it is. And you can see the results by year. It goes up and up and up and up. And what we have found is that this pathway in our body that turns on the antioxidant and anti-inflammatory enzymes and reduces oxidative stress has been reviewed over and over again. And it may, in the conclusion by the Washington State University back in 2015, was that this pathway may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventive breakthrough in the history of medicine. That is saying a lot. So here, when you take a patented herbal blend that turns on that NRF2 pathway better than anything in the world, they've tested it in humans, and they've shown that in 30 days, the oxidative stress level came down by an average of 40% in everyone who ingested that blend. And how did it do it? Well, it did it by optimizing gene expression. As we age, oxidative stress causes some genes to be overexpressed and some genes to be underexpressed. And if you look at children's DNA, they are optimally expressed right across the board. And that's what happens when you activate this NRF2 pathway. Your genes become optimized. The expression of your genes is best for health and preservation of health, and you can actually turn down some of the genes that you don't want to express. A second component of how our bodies protect themselves is through cellular energy. Cellular energy is produced in the mitochondria. You may remember that from high school biology, the powerhouse of the cell. They take the oxygen we breathe and the food that we eat, and they turn them into ATP. And ATP is what our body needs to operate. Unfortunately, the mitochondria are, since they are at the source of energy production, they are at the source of pollution, okay? So they are going to be damaged by that oxidative stress we just talked about, and they are damaged, and once they get damaged to a certain degree, they self-destruct. And now our cells are trying to do all of the work that they need to do, and even more, because the longer we live, the more we're exposed to toxins and infectious agents and pollution and all that. So we need our mitochondria more, just as they're being destroyed more, and now we're less equipped to deal with things that we need. And now you can look on PubMed, which is, again, a search engine that's used by health professionals and researchers. And you just type in the words mitochondrial dysfunction and whatever it is that you're concerned with, and you will find a litany of results. And again, you can see that the results by year, my magnification was misplaced, sorry. It just goes up, you know, exponentially every year. And we want to be able to actually optimize our mitochondria so that we can operate our cells and our, you know, not only our digestive cells and our heart and our brain and our gut, but also our immune system. Our immune cells are absolutely dependent on well-functioning mitochondria. All right, now there's a third pathway that is called sirtuins, and this is most recently being looked at. There's only less than 10,000 studies on it, but again, you can see they're increasing every single year. In fact, Time Magazine, one of the people of the year, 100 most influential people of the year, a few years ago was Dr. David Sinclair for his work on the mitochondria. What I want to do is I want to share with you a video, which I'll show you. This is a photo of the video, and you can see on the left, you can barely see the little gray tail and gray feet and gray ears of Mr. Super Mouse on the left, and then the normal mouse over here on the right. He would periodically stop and like, help me. They were on the treadmill, and I'm going to try to see if I can play it for you. Will you unmute yourself and let me know if you can see this? Somebody, Josephine? Can you see that? I hope so.
I can hear it.
Yeah, okay, I gotta share it. Okay, hold on. Thank you. I'm gonna stop share. I'm gonna do a new share. Okay, share, nope. There we go. Josephine, can you see that now? Can you see the video now? Can you see it, anyone?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So what I want to say about this, I'm going to mute him. The mouse on the left, we're going to just review it. Basically, he's saying that the mouse on the left was was older, but outran the mouse on the right. And I'm going to go over it again. Okay, this is a mouse that has increased sirtuin activity on the left. And he is just outrunning the stink out of this poor mouse on the right who's like, help me. He just keeps stopping. And let's listen to what Dr. Sinclair says.
They outran the young mice.
Yeah, the older mice outran the younger mice. So I'm going to do my share again. Okay, are we back on the slideshow now? Everyone, you can see the picture. Can you see the brain mapping?
Yes.
Okay, great. I just don't have any faith in my technology skills. Sorry.
No,
All
I don't
right.
see brain mapping. There's like a chart here. No, there's
Oh.
no brain.
You don't see the brain mapping?
No, I
No,
don't.
it's your files, Sean.
Ah, I don't want to see
Click
that.
on the file.
Okay, here we go. Thank you, guys.
Mhm.
How about now? Do you see brain
Yes.
mapping? Yay. All right. So we're going to go back to, again, we've discussed 3 different pathways now. The NRF2 pathway, which increases the production of antioxidant and anti-inflammatory proteins, which then get to work and reduce cellular oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is very damaging for your cells and is what goes awry in all kinds of things that occur whenever we are exposed to anything that our body fights. If our body's fighting and the oxidative stress gets out of control, it damages our cells. And that is no bueno for our lungs, for our brains, for our hearts, for our cardiovascular system, for our digestive system, for everything, for our immune system. The second pathway is turning on the NRF1 pathway, which is the master regulator of mitochondrial biogenesis. So when you have mitochondrial dysfunction, now the cells are trying to do the work of putting out the fire of oxidative stress and fighting off infection and repairing and thinking. And they're trying to do that with fewer mitochondria, less energy. And so we can activate a pathway, a second pathway in our bodies called NRF1. That stands for nuclear respiratory factor 1. That's the overseer of mitochondrial biogenesis. So you can get back that healthy number of mitochondria. Your brain has 10,000 mitochondria. Your heart has 10,000 mitochondria per cell. Your eyes have 10,000 mitochondria per cell. The rest of your body has about 1,000 per cell. Your brain and your retina and your heart have the most, unless you're a woman, and then your ovaries 10 times that, 100,000 mitochondria. So we have to have mitochondria in order for our cells to do the work that they do, especially immune cells, brain cells, etc. And then the third pathway that we were just looking at with that crazy mouse that just broke the treadmill. He literally broke the treadmill. This is an older mouse, broke the treadmill by running farther than any mouse had ever run on a treadmill. And that was because he had increased sirtuin activity and just felt amazing. So these mice that had engineered to have more sirtuin activity looked half their age, ran twice as far, and lived twice as long. So there's a lot to be said for optimizing these 3 pathways. We actually have another form of activation of the NRF2 pathway, and that is a targeted brain. It's actually a little drink that you can drink and turn on the NRF2 pathway in your brain. And what does that look like? Well, this is a brain map looking at activated areas of the brain, and they're coded. Green is normalized data, and anything that is red is hyperactive and not normal. And you can see that by activating the mitochondrial pathway and the oxidative stress pathway, and also optimizing the brain's function with what we call liquid brain food, the brain went from not so normal to absolutely normal. So these products, these pathways work when activated. And this is another great example of, of what it means to have optimized brain function. We are talking about optimizing the structure and function of all cells, whether they be brain cells, immune cells, gut cells, cardiovascular cells, whatnot. It is a great thing when you can optimize cellular function. And this is just a visual example of what that looks like after 1 week. The bodies are amazing. Now, all of these pathways have targeted genes that they would like to, they're activating, sorry. And so the NRF2 genes are just, you don't need to know the name of them, hemoxygenase and NQO1. They're antioxidant, detoxification, and healthy inflammatory response genes, very key. And you can increase them by 40 and 51% with the NRF2 activator. But if you combine the 3 pathways together, you can see there's a 1,563% synergy in terms of target gene activation. It's all about gene activation, folks. It's getting your genes to produce the proteins and enzymes that your body needs to protect itself and repair and detoxify and function, okay? So the NRF1 pathway it can be increased by the NRF1 gene itself and also the PGC1 alpha gene. You don't need to know what they are. They're just genes that are involved with mitochondrial biogenesis. Those are increased 65% and 71% with just the NRF1 synergized activity. But if you combine the 3 pathways together, again, you're going to get up to a 69% increase in their activity on the target genes. And then the final NAD, that's the one that made the mouse just break the treadmill, just run so far, even though it was older, run faster. That we can recycle NAD. It's critical in ATP production. It's critical for the sirtuins, those proteins that we just looked up that are basically Time Magazine has called them the closest thing to the fountain of youth that we have. You can increase NAD recycling and NAD synthesis massively when you combine the 3 active pathways together. And I lost my train of thought. ATP. Oh, they protect NAD. That's what sirtuins. They actually not only are fuel for your cells and basically protect against expression of untoward genes or genes you don't want to express. They silence them. But the sirtuin proteins also will repair DNA breaks. So you want to have NAD optimized. You want to have your sirtuin activity optimized. And when you activate all 3 pathways together, amazing things happen. So we're going to talk about what does this mean for your health? What if you could feel like you're supposed to and used to feel? What if you could sleep better? What if you had more mental clarity, better focus, had fewer crashes throughout your day, had a consistent, amazing focused energy all day? And what if you felt confident in your body's cytoprotective systems running optimally? That's your cellular protection systems. That is what can happen. And I'm going to show you a couple of visuals about what that looks like. And I'm also going to invite a couple of speakers to just share what activating these pathways has meant for them. All right, the next slide is my friend Amy. She is a gorgeous woman, and in 2015, she was in her early 50s, and you can see the difference. 3 years of aging chronologically, and I'd say 10 years of inner youthing. She looks absolutely gorgeous, and she looks even better today in 2020. I need to get her to send me an updated photo. This is what you can activate, this NRF2 pathway from the inside out, and you can also activate it from the outside in. Why not? Your skin has 2 sides. It has an inner side. It's fed by your capillaries, and that's going to be impacted by what's going on in your bloodstream, what nutrition you're eating, what pathways you're activating internally. But it's also impacted by pollution, fluoride in your shower water, chlorine in your swimming water, sun's radiation, etc. UV light inside, terrible damaging light. You can see massive differences in the skin in just 59 days here. This is a clinical study. I love these photos because they're the same lighting, the same distance, the same expression, the same angle. Normally when you see before and after photos, the difference in lighting or expression or distance or angle is just not enough to make a good comparison. Here's another. These are a couple ladies that had been activating from the inside out all along, and then they started activating their NRF2 pathway from the outside in. And you can see in 60 days, dramatic changes. One lady had been planning to have her excess skin on her eyelids snipped off, and then it just tightened right up, and she canceled her surgery. So you can see the results of, and this just is an example of what your cells look like on the inside. Your skin is an outer reflection of your inner health. So know that. And this gentleman's crazy enough to just use the topical on one side of his face for 23 days, and he kept it up for another several days. And day 54, it's just a dramatic difference. And I don't know if you ever evened it out. And this is what it can look like in an animal. An animal, you can tell when they feel good. You can tell when they don't feel good. They don't know that you're giving them something to make them feel better. They just look like they feel better. And here's a little video montage of life before and after activation in 2 minutes. Stella is Cassie's tormentor. Cassie's the yellow dog. Stella's the little monster. And Stella just says, look, I want to play, but I can't. But then activating her anti-inflammatory and antioxidant pathways and reducing her cellular oxidative stress, she's a happy dog. So this is Zamora. She's a little stiff, older mare, kind of a bloated belly because she doesn't really move that much. Look at her front knees, they're stiff. After 3 days, does she feel better? I don't know, you tell me. I think she feels better. Animals tend to show their results faster than people. I think it's, I don't know why. They probably don't put the crap in their bodies that we do. This is blood that's been analyzed with less oxidative stress. Cells are looking healthier. So we're going to improve the structure and function of Duke's legs. By starting at the cellular level. And change takes time. It's not an overnight thing. But as we get older, we can get better. Okay, so this is another set of people that have optimized their gut health. The gut is where 80+% of your immune system is, and the reason for that is it's the barrier between the outside world and the inside of you. It's one cell layer thick from the top to the bottom. And so if you activate a healthy gut, your cells become healthier. Your gut microbiome makes 80% plus of the neurotransmitters. It makes glutathione, which is one of those survival enzymes that NRF2 activation actually increases. So you make glutathione, but your gut microbiome also makes glutathione. So we need to optimize our belly, our gut, to become the healthiest version of ourselves. And you know why we store fat, right? We store fat to protect our bodies from the toxins. Our body literally takes toxins and covers them up in a layer of fat. And when you have reduced oxidative stress and a healthy gut, your body can shed adipose tissue. Now, these people also used a fat burn that is herbal, vegan, non-stimulant, but you can definitely lose weight without the fat burn just because of healthier cells. So that is the conclusion of my portion of the talk, and I'm going to actually stop my screen share. And if you are ready to talk, I know Lisa looks like she's gonna, looks like you're unmuted. You want to say just a couple words of what life was like before you activated your pathways and what life's like after you've activated your pathways. Oh, you're muted. Hold on, let me unmute you. Oh, you got it?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say that before I go into how its activation has helped me, that prevention really starts at birth, right? So we go to the mother's milk, hopefully, if we generate the milk to provide for our babies. And from then on, through life, everything else that's natural on the planet that's given to us is an aid to our prevention and to better health, right? So as we age, our glutathione that Dr. Sean talked about depletes after age 20. We are born with glutathione. So these activators actually boost up our own glutathione without having to take a supplement. So it creates that glutathione production in your body, which is incredible. And for me, with being activated for 2 years, this month actually has been nothing short of amazing. With what is going on in the world right now, I would not have peace of mind without being activated. And the 3 activators, NRF2, NRF1, and NAD that Dr. Sean talked about are so critical and crucial for optimal health. Sure, there were times during the season, the flu season, that I felt something coming on, but you then add in your other natural, wonderful products, your bone broth, your oregano, and other things. But for the most part, when you are activated, my family of 4, my parents who are 83 and 78, it gives me peace of mind knowing that they may be around the elderly, and people say the elderly are more at risk. It really depends on how you live your life. It is not that the elderly are more at risk. And I truly have peace of mind that they are good. And, you know, sharing clients that have had incredible results and that put their trust in me and taking that leap of faith and taking these products every day has been just it's been amazing.
Don't you feel compelled to share it with others? Because people just don't know about this.
Yeah, well, especially now, Sean, I mean, especially now with EMFs, RFs, everything that you mentioned, we need to add in 5G.
Yes.
Very, very big. It's huge. And that is a big factor in what is pushing this coronavirus to
it's damaging.
people
it's damaging.
becoming
EMF.
very ill.
It's causing oxidative stress and mitochondrial
Exactly.
and it's depleting our NAD. Yeah, it's
Right,
doing all that.
right. So more of a time than ever, we really need to be activated. It's very important.
Amen. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. I know Josephine has been waiting patiently to share. I may ask Marilyn to pop on if she's still here afterwards. I don't see Marilyn. She must have left. Okay, go ahead, Josephine. We want to hear from you. Talk about your life with activation.
So thank you, Sean, so much for that presentation. And both of you, Lisa and Sean, when you were speaking, I was having these like aha moments. I also am currently 2 years activated. As a matter of fact, on this day 2 years ago, I decided it was time to share this with others because I had just started personally myself feeling so much better after a few weeks. And then, of course, Lisa and Sean, you know Dominic's story. Dominic is my son. He's 12 years old, and he just is the healthiest, happiest, vibrant version of himself today. And that wasn't so much the case 2 years ago. And it really just solidifies for me, like Lisa said, how good I feel knowing that my family is activated, because we are additionally protected from the things that are out there. Are there other things that we need to do that we do every day to keep ourselves healthy? Absolutely. Eating healthy and, you know, really taking care of ourselves. But without the added protection of activation, I don't know that I know that we wouldn't be feeling as healthy as we are today, because I think back 2 years ago when Dominic and myself also were very susceptible to things out there, you know, different bugs out there were constantly coming home, whether my son was getting them at school from other children or I was getting them out at work. We were always bringing them home and passing them to, you know, we were passing the bugs around to each other, and we were always feeling not well. And, you know, my son, being that he's 12 years old, I don't feel that he should have been not feeling as well as he wasn't feeling, and always having to go to the pediatrician's office and, you know, taking lots of medications and missing lots of school. And today I can honestly say that this boy, we do not go to the doctor unless it's a well visit. And it's been 2 years since he's needed any sort of medicine to break infections. And it's just incredible. Like even my mom said the other day to me, she had an aha moment, and she goes, Josephine, I used to get colds a couple of times a year, she said, and since I've been activated, do you notice I haven't had a cold in 2 years? And I said, you know what? Oh my goodness, you're right. And so just knowing that our immune system is stronger and better helps me feel better about what's going on in the world and the more toxic environment that we live in. So I feel comfortable 100% saying we are more protected than those that aren't activated. I truly, truly believe that, and I see that. And it's just been really, even with today's day and age, it's just been more confirmation for me and my family that we are on the right path, and that sharing this information is so important so that we can help others understand how turning on our own body's antioxidants and, you know, strengthening our immune system is really the key to staying healthy today. And I feel good also, like Lisa said, her parents are older, but they are activated. And I feel the same thing about my mom, who is, you know, 74 years old. And her doctor just said to her the other day that I believe he used the words, oh my gosh, he just was shocked by how she's getting healthier as she gets older. And the average person her age visiting that type of doctor, he does not see the same sort of result. And so he's just kind of blown away that my mom's blood results and her testings just continue to improve over time. So it's just crucial and important to give our bodies those defense systems today. So thank you for letting me share.
Oh my gosh, Josephine, you're so right. I mean, our cells have a built-in protective mechanism, and that's all we have right now. We only have our own cells' ability to protect themselves, and we can leave it the way it is, you know, in our current world of being hijacked, where it gets less and less and less and less and less effective at protecting itself. And that's why older people are more susceptible to all kinds of things. But the other thing is sometimes, you know, even healthy children are affected by hijacking. I would love to hear about Dominic's performance in school from 2 years ago to today.
So thank you. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I almost forgot to share that. Dominic today is a honor roll student. He is independent and flourishing, and I watch him and I'm just blown away because, and he himself also, we watched a video of him when he was about 7, 8 years old a couple of weeks ago. And he goes, "Mommy, look, just look. My eyes were all over the place and I couldn't sit still." And he goes, don't look at that, because look at how I am today. Like, he even was able to see the difference in himself. Like, he used to really have a tough time staying on task, focusing. He needed a lot of assistance in school from teachers and teachers' aides. He needed a lot of different provisions at home, incentive charts, behavior therapy. And he still really had a difficult time. And he's a very smart boy. So I think he knew that he was smart, and it was very frustrating for him not to be able to be at his full potential. And so once I was introduced to these incredible activators and I saw what was happening with me in a couple of weeks, I just knew that Dominic also needed to be activated. And just within a couple of days, there was a tremendous difference in him. And over the last 2 years, it doesn't even feel like I'm watching the same child, to be honest. It's just so incredible. He just learns so much better. He's calmer, he's focused, he's happier, he's healthier, the healthiest he has ever been. And and this is really the reason why I'm so compelled to share, is because I think about all those other people out there that might be going through the same thing, or might be looking, for a solution for how to help ourselves and our family feel better and do better. Like you always say, Sean, feel better and do more. And that's really what I'm watching happening with Dominic. He feels better and he's able to do more. And it's so awesome to see him just be the best version of himself. When I think about what we went through, and how much we struggled, but that was our life. So we thought that was normal. And now we are in such a different place with our health, and just so much appreciation and gratitude for how incredible we feel. And, you know, I asked Dominic the other day, because we were speaking with someone about it, and I said, Dominic, do you feel like you would ever stop taking these activators? And he looked at me with his eyes and he said, no way, mommy. And I said, why? And he said, because I feel so great. And like, that's a 12-year-old boy right there telling you how incredible he feels. And so just so grateful and blessed.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Thank you so much, Josephine. I love hearing your story, your mom's story, your son's story. We even have dog stories between you and Lisa and my dog, Henry. The dogs are just less stressed. And yeah, well, you saw in the videos. I just want to read you a couple of testimonials. I don't know if you can see this. I was asking my friend, she's actually a surgeon, a very prominent surgeon in New Orleans. And I said, hey, Rachel, how are you feeling? She started on the activators. Sean, it's almost too good to be true. I'm stressed right now because my next shipment has not arrived and I'm almost out. All right, so then here's another one. I'm so excited. Today's the first day since Nerf 2 activation that have felt some energy back. Victory ahead. Let's see. Can't mention any diseases. We're not pharmaceutical. We are just activating health. My daughter and I are activated together 18 months ago. Best thing I ever did. My daughter she's got a low IQ, and she volunteers at a local hospital. Several doctors asked what I'd done differently with her. She's absolutely blossomed this year. And, you know, one other, this is just a topical, you know, activation of your, you know, of your skin. Oh my gosh, for 2 years, I've been trying to get Carlos to put some of that topical cream on his feet. He's used everything. Tonight he did, he put socks on. He calls me today and says, honey, that cream really helped me. I said, take pictures. Anyway, it's just really fun every single day. I have a whole collection of, like, you can see them, like, pictures of all these testimonials. It just goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. People whose lives have changed massively. And, you know, I think I showed you some animal videos, but I mean, it's just phenomenal. Here's a doggy who's, you can see the inflammation in his tummy. It's red and blotchy. And then we activated his pathways and his tummy looks great. So we are not, we're not doing what you may think we're doing. We're activating pathways. We're not supplementing. We're not NRF2 deficient in terms of nutrition. We just don't have enough activity in our NRF2 genes. I'm going to invite Sharon, if you are able to hop on and just say a couple words about why you got excited about this, and if you're sharing it with others, why you're doing that, and if you can unmute yourself, please do. If you're busy, I understand I'm catching you off guard. I think she might be cooking dinner or something, or maybe walked away. All right, I want to ask Susan Clinton, just 2 minutes. We're kind of, I want to keep it under 45 minutes. Susan, would love to hear from you, just kind of what life was like. Obviously, we can't make any mention of any conditions that have a name. We're just going to talk about how maybe you were before and how you are now that you're activated. Unmute. I've unmuted you, Susan.
Hey, yeah, I just had a lot of fatigue, and I'd had a loss of vitality, let's put it that way, and just getting up out of bed was difficult. I get tired at 3 p.m. after it every day, like it's like that time of day I'd have to take a nap. And now I just can go, however, you know, no matter whatever task is at hand, I can actually, like if I have to drive 9 hours, I can do it, and I'm not wiped out the next day. So I'm able to do what I need to do without being tired. I used to have a lot of sensitivities to things that I'm finding I'm not having. I have more clarity of thought, and you know, just being able to do more. So I mean, it's just more energy, more focus, more concentration, you know, being able to finish tasks that were harder to do, to finish. Once I got started, I could finish projects.
Yeah, it's very important to be able to finish what you start. If your brain's inflamed, you're just going to be all over the place like a squirrel, right? And I think it's just so beautiful that we can absolutely optimize our gene expression. And what I'd like to direct all the guests to do is to get back with the person who invited you to this presentation and ask for a link to watch a news report from kind of at the beginning of the story where the NRF2 pathway had just been discovered, and they found a way to combine the 5 herbs and reduce that oxidative stress by almost half in 30 days. And also, if you'd like to learn more in a fun and interactive environment, ask the person who invited you here for the link to invite you to our private, free, fun and interactive physician-led community where you can ask questions, look around, learn at your own pace. We would love to help you get started. And if you're thinking of other people who need this activation, who need to turn on the genes that reduce oxidative stress and inflammation, to increase mitochondrial health and number, to increase the production of your, you know, sirtuin genes, the longevity genes, the, you know, the basically the closest thing to the fountain of youth, and the reason that Dr. Sinclair was on the cover of Time magazine for the top 100 influencers in the world. Just ask for the invitation to that community, and you'll be able to hear from leading cardiologists, pediatricians, OBGYNs, nurse practitioners, physician assistants, chiropractors, holistic naturopaths, etc., moms and dads who are just blown away with the incredible transformation in their cellular health, which then ultimately lets them feel better, do more, and become the absolute best version of themselves, whose labs are going backwards in terms of they're getting older and their labs are getting better in all respects. You'll know why it's such a big deal, and you can actually hop on and start sharing with others as well, because this is something you can do from home, and your friends, like I said, with those testimonials, they will thank you, because there is no better time to be healthy and activate health, and there's no better time to share the gift of activation with those that you care about. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. Again, reach out to me or whoever invited you to learn more. Okay, take care. Bye, everyone. Thanks for your participation, everyone.